Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Computer America Show. We've got a great program planned for you tonight. In hour two, we're going to have Dick DiBartolo, the GizWiz, Mad Magazine's maddest writer, going to be joining us with some of the fun stuff that he saw at the New York Toys Festival in New York City, and some other great stuff that he has set up. And in the first hour, we're going to have Doodle here with us. Doodle's here. Michael Brett, the CEO of Doodle, is here to join us talking about what's going on with Doodles. They're just introduced something brand new tonight and a new feature, and we'll be talking. And he is actually in New York City tonight from Zurich, and we look forward to speaking with him. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We'll be starting in about 1 minute.
1 minute until showtime.
There you go on Computer America. It worked. I saw you just mute yourself. Yeah. 30 seconds. Okay, and here we go.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Computer America Show. Got a great program planned for you. In the second hour, it's the last Wednesday of the month. Dick DiBartolo is here, the GizWiz, Mad Magazine's maddest writer. Recently at the New York City Toy Festival, we've got some fun things to talk about, as we always do. And in the first hour, we have Doodle. Doodle is here. They have an announcement to make. We're going to a brand new exciting feature, and the CEO of Doodle is here. Michael Brecht is in New York City, actually, and we're going to find out why he's here and what he's doing here, and look forward to speaking with him. Now,
why are we all here?
Well, that's a good question.
It's large questions to tackle in just an hour.
Yes, we do have it. Why are we here? What is it? What's our purpose? And hopefully we'll find that within the hour.
Talk about Doodle.
Well, exactly. If you have a comment or a question, or you want to talk to our guest, or you want to talk to Ben, or maybe even talk to me, you can give us a call. It is 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. They'll get you on and get you through. Email is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. We have that set up so when we're live and on the air, if you have and you're radio shy, you don't want to go on the air, it's a great way to communicate with us and ask your question. You can also join us in our live interactive chat room. From our homepage at Computer America, it'll see on the left-hand side, it says Interact with the Show. Just click that button, and you'll get a split screen. On the left-hand side is the entry form for our chat room. You just put in a username. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. Click the connect button, and your browser will move you into the Computer America chat room. We'd love to see you in there. It's filling up as we speak. And also sharing that very same page is our live Computer America video streaming page. That's right. Not only can you listen to the show, but you can watch the show. Now, when you go to the chat room page, it automatically starts the video. You don't have to do anything, so it'll just start up automatically, and we certainly welcome you to join us. Now, if you're listening to the show after it's over, what will happen is you'll see an archive of the program. and you can watch that because not only do we archive all of our videos and our audio at computeramerica.com, so all that gets saved. It's on Apple's iTunes. You can listen to the show. We make it available to anyone and everyone who wants to listen to us. It's interesting. We talked about the chat room, Ben. We have one of our chat room participants. Evidently, he's been away from Computer America for about 15 years. He actually he told me that he used to come to the show when we had a live studio audience.
So he knows about your hairline.
Yeah, no, he.
My goodness.
Yeah. And it was really interesting talking with him. He evidently has found us again. We were in his favorites. He'd gone away for a while. Evidently, he had stage 4 cancer, and evidently is fighting it successfully. His name is Mark, and we wish him the best. And evidently,
congratulations on that. That's a huge feat.
Yes, it is. And he's watching us now. He's watching the video. He told me that he thinks the very thing he won from us, because we give away a lot of prizes on the show, was on a floppy disk.
Did you get some kind of software?
Yeah, whatever the prize he won was on a floppy. That's how long ago he was with us, and that's a long time, I have to say. But anyway, we welcome him back.
Well, luckily, because of our rules of our contest, 15 years, you are eligible to win again.
That's right. That's true. We have it in writing. You can
it's closer to a year. We recommend waiting a year, but if you want to wait 15 years, it's your business, and sure, why not?
Absolutely. So, welcome to the Computer America Show, and we are glad that you didn't throw out those favorites and found us again. Okay, I think
it helps that we've been at the same web address, computeramerica.com, for 20 years now.
24 years, yeah, exactly.
Well, wait, you had this registered at computeramerica.com 24 years ago?
Well, no. Yeah, the website went up, I think, 3 years after we went. We went.
Yeah, so 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years or so is when we've had the website. Exactly, and we kept the same domain for all that time. So yes, even though we've switched websites and made many changes and relocated and everything, the computeramerica.com domain is still ours, and we're glad that people can find us again.
Yep.
So, all right, so let's get to it. Now, as you probably know, or at the very least, you certainly can understand that scheduling a time for a meeting or any other appointment with a group of people can be frustrating and time-consuming. But it doesn't have to be that way. Doodle radically simplifies the process of scheduling events, whether they're board or team meetings, dinners with friends, reunions, weekend trips, or anything else. Doodle offers a wide selection of online solutions that radically simplify the process of scheduling appointments, ranging from the group event poll that doesn't require registration to the professional booking service. And once again, with us is Michael Brecht. Michael is the CEO of Doodle. Michael, welcome back into Computer America. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Thank you very much, Craig, and thanks for having me again. Good evening, Ben, to you too.
Thanks for coming on, joining us. It's so late now. Although you're not, in Germany, so it's not like 3 or 4 o'clock there, but still 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I highly appreciate that. Yes, the 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock morning shifts with you guys were really exciting.
Yeah.
So it's a real pleasure to have that thing done at 10 o'clock, being in New York City.
And I think the thing you'll be happy to hear, Michael, is that as we continue to add features and everything, starting I think in May, we're going to actually, for folks such as yourselves where the time is inconvenient or you're overseas, we're going to actually be able to record the interviews ahead of time. So we can record the interviews ahead of time to the people's convenience, and then we would broadcast them on the live show. So that's going to be a nice feature. We're adding that. So maybe
that sounds like a great feature. Thanks very much for that, Craig.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. We're going to be really happy to do that. So yes, no more of these 4 a.m. vigils. Great. So all right. So you're here now. You're here in New York. You're at a hotel, and I understand. Now you've been CEO for over a year now at Doodle, and I'm just kind of curious. What are some of the changes and transitions you've seen since you've been CEO?
Well, we have about an hour, so I need to cut that really short. But what we've seen was that Doodle is actually a Swiss invention. So it's a Swiss business as a start. And last year, at about that time, about 18 million people were using it per month. Now there are only about 7 million Swiss. So obviously there need to be some internationals in that group. And last year at that time, we probably had about 4 million Americans using it per month. That has grown to 7 million now. Which is a nice growth. Doubling almost within a year is a nice one. But the business itself has changed too. I mean, we were really seen as an engineering tool, as a productivity tool, which helps you organize events or meetings. Like you said before, they could have a business purpose, they could have a private purpose. In the US, and we could speak a little bit more in depth about this, we have a more business-oriented angle on that. But I think in general we have moved Doodle itself to really become a product which in general brings people together charmingly. Yeah? So it's a nice product to use, whether you use it for an official or business function, or whether you just use it for getting people together to have a cup of coffee or share a birthday party.
Wow. Yeah. So a lot of changes, and I understand that there, and we're going to get to it a little more. Some other big changes are in the works for Doodle, and I think this is one of the reasons why you're actually in New York. I mean, well, you tell us, what are you doing there? What's going on?
Are you trying to spread the word of Doodle mouth? Word of mouth. Are you like telling people on the street, "Hey, have you heard Doodle?" Yeah.
Yeah, that could be one possibility of making it happen, Ben. Unfortunately, there's only myself in New York at the moment from the Doodle team, and that would probably not be the most efficient way of telling people who we are and what we do. Although I have a lovely beanie that I carry on my day. It was really cold yesterday. I can assure you, the 5 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday were a challenge, even for people that grew up in South Germany or Switzerland. Now, what we do in New York at the moment is there are 2 or 3 things. Number one is I'd like to understand how we can not only get say 7 or 8 million Americans, but probably 100 million Americans using Doodle. So what do we need to do? And this is normally not to be done by saying, well, we know everything and we are Swiss, and so therefore this is how it's going to happen. But this is about listening to other people who use Doodle and some people who are new to Doodle. So I'm talking to many potential partners. I'm talking to media people. I'm talking to the digital scene here in New York, trying to understand what they would do and what their recommendations are. And it's a very, very interesting process. Secondly, I'm obviously talking to some partners about concrete partnerships, and we will communicate that as soon as we're out. They apply both the desktop solution as well as the app solutions. We're bringing out new apps in April this year. And so there's a lot of scenarios around that topic of apps.
I'm excited. I mean, I know what Doodle does and everything, and how it works on the website, but if you're bringing that to an app on a smartphone, that is going to be amazing. That's going to be, because now you can take it with you. It'll be totally mobile. That's wonderful. And you're talking sometime in the April timeframe for that, huh?
Well, the iOS app will come out in April, and it will be out in 10 languages. So English, obviously, being our most important one, is the one that is the first one out. Actually, by the way, congratulations. The US market, since last Thursday, is our most important market.
Wow.
Because most users now come from the US. I mean, you sort of would have expected there are more Americans using it than, say, the Swiss with 7 million people. But hey, this is good news. I really love this, because this was my aim to get that going within the first 12, 18 months, and we've really done that. And I think there's no reason why the US shouldn't be #1 country for us in the future as well.
Well, and I'm glad to hear that, and hopefully that Computer America has helped in that effort, and we'll continue to do so.
I'm really, yeah, I'm really pleased, and I think you're right. I mean, let's get this tool, which is so successful on the desktop, out on the road. I have a new fancy word, if you want, a new term which really excites me, which is the social scheduling element. At the end of the day, we are a social tool because people use Doodle to jointly agree on an appointment or on a date. And with that social element, we have a huge advantage because we are truly social. I mean, at the end of the day, 99.999 something % of the people that do a Doodle meet in reality. So here we're talking about a tool that leads people to really still meet, although they do this through the digital help of their desktop or other means. So we are really a social tool out there, and social scheduling being a term for me, or an exciting phenomenon, will actually happen not only in front of your desktop, but it will be happening out on the street. So this is what we are, and this is what we want to bring out with new apps. As I said, iOS in April, and probably June, July, the Android version will come out too.
Wow.
So not to get too far into specifics of business here, but Doodle. I mean, we last time we had you guys on, we talked about Doodle for about 40 minutes, and we hit every single mark. Not saying that it's a bad thing to have Doodle be, a small and simple, because that's what you guys do. You do scheduling, you do it simply, and you do it well. It's very, very simple. So for you, it sounds like you're trying to incorporate it into other venues, like maybe become native on some laptops and desktops, on some smartphones. It sounds like you're trying to get your product into people's hands, and not just trying to say, okay, well, we're Doodle, and we're going to make your new operating system, we're going to make your new phone, we're going to make your new everything. You're not trying to be everything for everyone. You're just a very simple platform for scheduling.
Exactly, Ben. Well, I have mainly three things in my mind when I think about Doodle. The most important one is that it should stay, and will always stay, an easy tool. We do not try to become too many things for one thing. We are online scheduling mainly for groups. So this kind of intuitiveness, this ease, that is so important, and that made us grow so dramatically. Second thing is that we are in this social element in terms of connecting people. We help or enable people to connect. This is the strength of Doodle. And I guess at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? It's about connecting people. And probably an element which is sort of new is that we do not try only to be a very productive tool. I mean, we help save about 15 minutes of someone's organization of an appointment. If you calculate that up by the millions of doodles that we've done about more than 4 million polls, or 4 million doodles in the US alone last year. Wow. So times 15 minutes each. I mean, that's a huge number of time saving. So it's a productivity tool. On the other hand, my aim is, and this is really about getting this out on the street, like you said, Ben, we want to be a charming tool. We would like to be something that is something not only for the one who's looking for productivity and efficiency, which is one thing, but we also would like to be a tool which kind of plays well in this world of big tools that are out there, big media that is out there. We want to be a charming and probably more emotional tool than we were seen at the beginning of last year when I took over. And I think this has to do with brand and with positioning and with use cases, and how can we communicate as well that Doodle is a tool for everyone to use.
Are there any examples that people can kind of think of where a company becomes not just a company but emotional? Like, is there an example you can give us to kind of go, what you're shooting for?
Well, let's say emotional, and that's obviously a specific term. This flexibility and this fast planning applies certainly to a business market where users can get salespeople together or connect someone who's working remotely as an internet designer or as someone who is just working in IT with their clients. So this is more the efficient part, probably less emotional than efficient. However, let's think about use cases in the private world. I mean, we have kindergarten meetings of parents that try to find a slot within the busy diaries of all those parents. We have coffee mornings. We have barbecues being organized. All of this, which is certainly more emotional than getting 6 business people in a room together. And I guess these are use cases we have examined and which we're experiencing. 80% in the US of our use cases of our doodles are on the business side, and 20%, but strongly growing, are on that private side, on that more emotional side. Interestingly enough, in Germany, in Switzerland, in France, it's just exactly the other way around. It's more the private use case and less a business case, which we see in the polls that we examine.
Why do you think that is?
I think it has to do with how the tool has grown, because in the past years before my arrival, the tool has only or mainly grown through viral effects. So let's take an example. If you are inviting 20 people to your birthday party, and of those 15 know the product, but 5 haven't used the product before, this is a private use case with 5 new users once they answer. And the more they see the use case on the private side, the more likely they use it as well on their private issues, such as birthday parties or, I don't know, stag nights or bachelor parties or anything like that. If you use it on the business side, and we have a premium Doodle feature which allows you to use some certain functionalities and excluding advertisements, you tend to use it and continue to use it more on the business side too.
Right. Now, and again, I hope people are understanding what we're talking about. Anybody or listening, if you ever tried to coordinate a meeting for whatever purposes, hey, we're going to go to a movie next Thursday at 10. Does that work? And you have more than, you can do 2 or 3 people. Okay, you can probably get away with it. But as the more people you're inviting to this, the more difficult it becomes to find a sweet spot that it's going to say, oh yeah, I'm available at this time, and that's what Doodle does. It finds that sweet spot where everybody can be available to meet, and that's basically what Doodle does, and it does it in such a way that it makes it very simple to do. It's
very visual.
Very visual. It's very intuitive, and it just makes the process. And now, as Michael had said, when you start doing PTA meetings, now sometimes a PTA meeting, the meeting is 8 o'clock on Tuesday night, and that's it, and you have to be there, when you have things. But but
there are PTA events that are completely unscheduled.
Right. If you're trying to coordinate that as something that's not scheduled, and you need to get these people to a particular event, something like Doodle is just going to.
Actually, that's a pretty good question that I just came up with off the top of my head, which is weird. So let's say that you have to run a bake sale, PTA bake sale, and the whole thing runs from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. But so many parents can only stay there for an hour each or something close to that. Could you use Doodle, like, not that everyone meets at that exact time, but rather you can kind of see people, who can show up from 10 to noon, who can show up from noon to 4, show up at different times, but still use Doodle to schedule that?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. I mean, it's around bake sales, it's around looking after children when the football tournament is on or the soccer tournament is on, and we have so many use cases who organize daily schedules, and people can either register several times or they can just be limited to one registry or one entry. I'll give you an example. We have many universities who have professor-student talks or diaries within the schedule of a university, which are organized through Doodle. So it's exactly that scheduling throughout a day or over a period of time, which allows users to then find out, well, which slot is still available, and I better put my name in there so that I'm on when I really can come along.
And that's a perfect example of how you can use Doodle and how easy it. Now, I want to get back a little bit to the U.S. market. You've mentioned that the U.S. market is picking up. I understand as of this past Thursday, the biggest market for Doodle now is the U.S. Is that correct?
That is correct, and it is wonderful because I think it just shows that well, firstly, Computer America did a great job in talking to me at strange hours during the day or night, and it has helped us to grow the followership in the US. So congratulations, Computer America.
Yes. I think we should have a round of applause for that.
Lovely. I love the sound machine you have in the back there, Craig. It's wonderful. Second, well, we also did a few things around that, but one thing I've learned in the US, which is very helpful, is listening to what the users really want. And I guess your show has been on for 23, 24 years now, with an own website for 20 years, as I understand. You have changed and altered things within the profile of your show because you've listened.
Well, boy,
and I think it's the same applies to Doodle. We started listening intensely of what people really use and want to use. And so we've done quite a fair bit of testing in the last 6-8 months on specific features, in particular in the US. The US market is an interesting market because people are more outspoken and like to tell you whether they like something or whether they don't like something. And I think this is perfect for testing because this is what it's all about. You need to understand what the people really like with your product or what they don't. And so we were asking quite a few questions, and we were coming back to specific users and trying to understand how we can make Doodle even better. And one of the features we've just launched, actually yesterday if we speak European terms, today if we speak US terms, is the functionality to use Doodle not only on one day. So that was the example that Ben used. Say it's up, the schedule is on between 10 and 4, 10 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but to actually use Doodle over a period of time. So not only have, say, the Saturday, but a Saturday and the Sunday, so a multi-day event to be used.
Oh, multi-day events, and yes, I understand you've just debuted that on the Doodle website. If you go to doodle.com, you can actually see the launching of the multi-day events. So give us something. This is a brand new feature you've just introduced. Explain a little bit further on what this does and how it works.
Well, I guess the feature relies on the subject that it is the time span is not only happening within one 24-hour period, being one day, but it also applies to periods of time. And you can play around and say, well, it's either 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, or it could be just on one day, the Wednesday, when the meeting could take place. Let's think weekends. We have a very, very big use case with weddings or birthday parties or alumni functions. So that typically happens or starts on a Friday night and goes over to Saturday and Sunday. And we really got that feedback from our American users saying, hang on, Doodle, there must be more to this than just stopping at the end of one day. Let's drag events through and then drag the dates until to extend that duration of the event.
Right.
And well, you can still obviously start and end times at your proposals, but the multi-day event will be a huge growth factor for us, and we're very happy that we launched it, and we're very pleased because it came not from our team and it wasn't our own invention, but it was clearly an American user group which said, hang on guys, that's what we need and that's what we want.
Hey, those Americans!
It's still shocked you were able to find opinionated Americans. That is shocking.
When you look at Doodle, I mean, and it's so visual because you actually see a calendar, and you simply drag a date on the calendar to extend its duration. I mean, you literally just physically do it, and you can see it happen. And you can see the background. You can see it changes to green, and so you're actually extending the event over a period of days, which I think is a very, very neat feature. And again, this has just been introduced today here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Now, obviously,
and sorry to go off, Craig, but that is I was thinking about doing something along those lines. Just it never really occurred to me that you could actually do that, more than one day, because you were talking about the different use cases, and we're talking about bake sales and things like that. But I'm sure everyone here has a different background, and you could think of different use cases. I'm thinking for video games and things like that, where you have to plan out you have to plan out a week ahead of time, with a week full of events, and something like that really appeals to, just a different market altogether. Gamers because gaming is very social at its heart, and it sounds like Doodle is becoming more social just naturally through evolution. It's a good thing to see.
Yeah, well, Ben, it's interesting that you say that, because I think it was sometime in June when we had our first interview, and you guys kind of discovered the new Doodle, and I discovered the new Computer America. There was a listener who called in and said, well, is there actually a chance to do something for gamers, and what would you do? Because he was kind of used to playing or gaming, or however you say that, with people across different time zones in different countries, not knowing them personally, but having been in the same team or in the same group. And I said at that time, I need to really think about what we do, because we need to really make it happen so that it really makes sense,
And I can see it made an impression. I want to continue on. We're at the bottom of the hour, Michael, and then we're gonna break just for some commercial messages, and then we'll continue on. Michael Breck, CEO of Doodle, is here with us in New York City. We're going to continue on with him right after this. Stay with us, please.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Hey, it's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time the QNAP, that's QNAP, model TS131 Turbo NAS. NAS is network attached storage. Now, in rethinking workspaces, we decided that a scanner should, something like a shredder, be in one go-to place that's not your desktop. We think that a modestly powered notebook and one or more scanners could have a place of their own. The idea is that when the need or the mood strikes, we can take a few minutes now and again to feed it sheets to digitize. If the notebook has the scanner software configured to use a folder on a network-attached drive as its target, and to have OCR run on that folder, then other PCs on the network can map that drive and benefit from those scanned images now being searchable. That leaves the challenge of backing up the NAS. QNAP sent 2 of their TS131 Turbo NAS single-bay gigabit NAS products to fill the bill. These are intelligent boxes with a dual-core ARM Cortex-A9 processor, and believe me, their capacities far exceed our intended usage of them. We put a Seagate SATA 3 drive in each NAS housing. By mapping only one of the NAS products to all of the workstations on the network and both of them to the scanner station's notebook, we're able to use Casper, which is a nice overnight Delta imaging backup product, to update the image of the main NAS to its companion. Bottom line, QNAP TS131 Turbo NAS devices let us stay speedily and reliably connected to results for functional devices we wanted to disconnect from our desktops. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It's 34 minutes past the hour, and we are talking to Michael from Doodle. And you may have actually heard just a minute ago our Doodle ad. So if anyone was confused, Doodle is indeed a sponsor indeed. So before the break, we were just getting into Doodle and how last time that you were actually on the show, we had a caller who was a gamer and was thinking about using your product for his use case, which is there are people that he never meets in person, that he's never going to meet in person, yet he meets them, quote unquote, through the video game on a weekly, on a daily basis, and it's hard finding time when everyone has their own schedules with their own time zones and things like that, and and you were just getting into that. But I guess it kind of shows how you can put and by the way, there's one of those sirens you were talking about. Exactly. And it kind of goes to show that you can put out a product, you can put out Doodle, but they're still going to find ways to use your product that you may not intended, but work well.
Yeah, and I apologize for the siren behind me, but it's just a sign of authenticity, you know.
Yeah.
I am really in New York. This is what happened here.
And the car horn, exactly.
Yeah, this is what had happened. Now, yeah, I think Ben, I think we listened to what the user said. We've started using the multi-day events as one functionality which is useful for gamers too. However, I think we will continue to look into what we need to do for gamers, because the gaming society is an international society. So you play with someone from Asia or Europe in the same team or against each other. You schedule something which certainly requires different time zones. That is something we can deliver, which makes it really useful for us, because you need to make sure that someone who's based in Florida, like you guys, and myself in New York, that's easy. But let's take someone in Zurich and someone in London and someone in Seoul, Korea, to be really on at the same time. This is what Doodle can do. We have a very good functionality around those different time zones. However, if I clearly look, and this is the part where I still listen and look and explore, if I really look into Doodle being ready for gamers, there are certain necessities for gamers which are probably still a bit more emotional, let's take that word again, needed than the clear, very productivity-oriented functionality that we have today. So we are working on this. This is work in progress, and this is what makes life so much fun, because we really know that we have a fantastic opportunity to use Doodle for a target group that really needs that product. Yeah.
Now, and you can take this for free. This is all yours. What I'd say that the groups, the groups of people that would be using this, and one of the major groups would be they call them guilds, clans, groups, whatever, what have you. And most of the time, when it's groups of people that have to organize like this, they have their own identity. So they may call themselves a certain thing, and they may have their own logos and things like that. I think Doodle would really, to kind of capture the gamers at least, you can, if you gave them some way to customize the look of it. I know that Doodle is very clean and minimalist by design, because it makes it very simple to use, very easy to understand at first glance. But if you added some kind of ability to add a logo, to add a name, maybe some other artwork around it, that would be the customization that I think gamers would look for, getting into this.
Very good idea.
This is the transition to become more charming or even more emotional, and I think, Ben, you're absolutely right. Let's use names, signs, images, and all these tools to actually make it your own Doodle, and therefore become more social in that aspect. Our app will actually bring that out. I can't say too much about it because it's not live yet. And but from April onwards, with our new iOS app, we will have functionalities such as your own design on there as a start. And yes, I think you're absolutely right. Gamers have a certain visual need on top of a productivity tool, and let's make sure that we can deliver. We will deliver, I can assure you. The first thing we've done was this multi-day event scheduling functionality. Now we will go into the emotional side about this and make it make it more charming and more useful for people that do not necessarily only count on the productivity, but would like to have a more emotional aspect to it.
Now, Michael, if you to, I mean, and Ben is just a typical example. When you look at his computer, hit the wallpaper on it, or the background. I mean, it has. He's very big into like World of Warcraft or similar types of games, and you can see he's got everything customized. So it's very emotional. It's very personal. You can tell this.
Craig, you are single-handedly wiping out any chance I have with any girl in the future. Thank you for that.
Well,
well, that depends on the question. How much adapted it is? It could have. I don't know.
No,
it's not excluding. It's not excluding what you just said. No, I don't think so. I'm not with you on that point.
No, but there's a certain panache to gamers that if anything's going to take off, it's people love customization. It starts as one thing, but you add your own flair to it, you make it yours, and gamers are gonna like it.
Mm-hmm. The good news behind this whole thing is that Doodle is a tool where you do not have to register. So keep your name, keep your environment, keep your stuff. You do not have to give any of your real personality if you're just participating in a Doodle. So this is what is a major reason for its success. It doesn't cost you anything because it's ad financed, but it's clearly staying away from delivering tons of information about your own profile. So it's free to use and no registration necessary. That's the beauty, I think, for a market such as the gaming market too.
Yeah, anonymity is very important, I think, in the gamers. They want to. It's all about role playing, and so you
No. Let me stop right there. You're attacking it from the wrong angle. Gamers don't like it because they're on the internet 24/7, and when you're on the internet, people want your email address, they want your name, they want your information, they want to send you stuff, they want to bombard you with ads, and they just want their product in your face 24/7. So when a product comes out that's like, you don't have to register, you don't have to create an account, you don't have to have another password out there, you can just use it and go about your day. That's what they like. It's not like, I am Zancor from Azeroth. People will try to get your information left and right, and when you don't have to, that is a good tool.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I think that's part of the reason why Doodle is so successful, or has been so successful also in the past.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah. Certainly on the same page. Now you mentioned some new apps coming out in April. What can you tell us about. I obviously don't want to talk too much, but anything you can tell our listeners right now, and obviously when April comes around, we'll hear what those are. But that's about a month and a half away. So can you talk a little bit what new apps or what's coming out in April, Michael?
Yeah, we spoke earlier about Doodle being a social scheduling tool because we clearly see Doodle as a tool that can be used across generations, across countries, to make people come to meet at the end of the day, meet in person. Well, they can also meet for a telephone conference or so, but most of the cases, and this is almost all the cases I can say, lead to the fact that people really meet. And for our growth, we discovered that the fixing of an appointment or making it happen so that people can meet actually doesn't only happen in front of your desktop, but it is an effect of life that these things happen in the tube, in the bus, on the street, wherever you are. So our aim is to bring Doodle out on the street and really get scheduling out on the road. So for us, the growth on the mobile and in particular the apps scale will be very important. Those apps will be cost-free, so you can download them at your own use case and do not have to pay for it. And some major functionalities are, firstly, we have some apps out at the moment, but their UX is a few months old, so we tried to come up with something which is radically new and radically different. And a main feature will be that we can integrate, or you can integrate your contact list, so you do not have to type everyone in who you know. So your whole contact list will be there, and I just type in Craig, and the 255 Craigs that I know will appear. Fortunately, there are only 3 or 4, so therefore the name Craig will appear, and I can easily tap onto it and use this as an invitation for us to share a coffee in Florida once I'm down there.
Yeah.
Secondly, obviously a major functionality for us is the integration of the Doodle once it's decided on into your calendar. So instead of writing out the 12 different participants' names, you just have one click and get all those names and the name of the poll and the location, all the information around this Doodle into your calendar with one click. And that is a major functionality today on the desktop, and it will be on our app as well. And then there's one thing which I'm kind of, shall I say that? Yeah, I think I'll put it out. I mean, it's probably a little bit early, but hang on.
We like exclusives here on the show. Come on, Michael, let's do it.
Yeah, you promised me not to tell anybody else. Is that
right.
what you're promising? Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Well, one of the functionalities that I like about Doodle is that once you're out with your group, say a girls' coffee morning, 6 girls meeting here on 5th Avenue. Okay, let's take a New York example. Mm-hmm. Then this is a great idea to meet and have that cup of coffee. But suddenly, someone within that group of the poll realizes that they will be late. So this girl today would probably use the phone or use a messaging service or use whatever kind of tool to actually communicate with their 5 friends or with her 5 friends to say, well, I'm running late. I'm just in the car park or wherever. Mm-hmm. In the future, you will be able to do that within the poll. So you can communicate straight away directly to the group that you have your meeting with. And that is a clear advantage to not, I always call that a media break, to avoid such a media break and use it because it's such a nice functionality to communicate straight away afterwards within your group. And we will have more functionalities around that use case of making it easy for you to communicate or even deliver information within that group that you have to decide to have your appointment with.
You only have to enter it one time, and then everybody in that group would get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the idea.
That is obviously a very different feature than you've been using traditionally, because really after you use Doodle and you schedule your meeting and you have the time, maybe you schedule it in your calendar or whatnot, but really Doodle's job is done after you've scheduled the meeting. It's your job to get there on time. So that's a good feature, but it's a very different feature.
It is, and we were thinking hard whether this makes sense for us. But I think it makes sense because the user doesn't stop with having said this is the appointed time or the appointment when we do it, but they would like to know more or get more information around that appointment. And I think the usefulness of saying, for example, I'm having to pick up my children from kindergarten, and who is picking up and who is in that schedule, and writing out to my friends, hey guys, I'm stuck in traffic, half an hour, I will be delayed by far. This is just a use case. And then someone else picking it up in your group that normally shares the pickup service from kindergarten. How efficient is this? Yeah, this is an ease for all the ones that are in that specific group of scheduling such a doodle or such an appointment.
Yeah, again, by just having to enter it in once, you get it to everybody who's in that group. You're going to be able to communicate to that to them. This would be great for people who are organizing flash mobs. Can you imagine? you know, we're all meeting at Grand Central. Oh wait, we've changed the venue. And instead of sending it to 100 times, just enter it at once, and everybody in the flash mob is going to move immediately to the new location, the new venue. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm
not sure whether I can agree with all the use cases you're bringing up, Craig, but I'm saying theoretically that is possible.
Yes.
I mean, it would be perfect for bank robberies. You could, let know and how long the alarm system. Perfect.
What is going on in Florida, guys? I mean, these are use cases that are way past my imagination here in New York.
We're coming up with new uses for Doodle. I mean, this is great. But seriously, I think that this is the fact that you're going to have an app and it's going to be mobile and you don't have to be by your computer to do this. And of course, I assume there are going to be notifications, so it's going to let you know immediately. It'll
but the
go
question
off.
is,
Yeah.
Is there really room for growth in the mobile space?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. There's tons and tons of smartphones, so an app like that would probably be very well received.
Exactly. I think Michael was in shock there for a moment. Michael, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, what kind of other ideas will I get tonight from Florida? It's all happening. It's all happening. There is room for growth in the mobile space. Be assured.
Now, I know you can't talk too much about it, but obviously this is also a social thing. People who are using social media now, like Facebook, or what have you, to do this type of thing, still for the most part, are limited by what they. Have you ever thought of any integration with Doodle with larger social media groups like Facebook or something? Any thoughts down the road with doing that? Would there be any advantage to doing something like that?
Well, for us, it's always the user's idea that counts. And yes, we are talking to a few players, and I definitely can't tell you, unfortunately, who it is or what it is. It's in Europe, but also the US. That's partially why I'm here. About ideas of how to integrate our functionality in their daily schedules. But it's really not about trying to force Doodle to someone, but it's the other way around. I would like to think what is important for a user to do, and how can we ease their life. And this is when it makes sense to use Doodle. And so therefore, I'm completely fine with saying, well, if we're not partnering with anybody, we will grow and grow and grow, because the scenario is so useful for users. If it would make sense for a specific case to partner, we will talk about it, and we will make sure that it's either through a widget or through just a simple test, etc. Yeah, so there are plenty of possibilities there.
I would think so, and then eventually, what's going to happen is they're going to bring the mountain to Muhammad. I mean, they're going to come to you, Michael. Really, I think because of the popularity of this, and I mean, look, it's happening, as you just said. As of this Thursday, the U.S. has become the biggest market for Doodle. I mean, and that doesn't happen by accident. I mean, you have something that people want, and that people can use and understand how easy it is to use, and that's the reason these things are happening. The moment when I first heard about Doodle and what it does, it was like a little light bulb went up over my head. I went, "Oh my God! What a great idea!" It was just, and I'm not the only one. I mean, obviously, people are hearing about it and are finding it useful and are using it, and you're seeing the results. And here you are in New York City because of it. Yeah.
and here I am in New York City, freezing 5 degrees.
So even though the U.S. is obviously a big market, thank you for making our ego even larger. We are now your biggest market because America must do everything the best.
Yes.
Does that mean you're kind of stopping your efforts elsewhere, or is it just at this point all focus on America?
Oh, as much as there's probably one or the other who would like to hear that. No, we are certainly considering other factors of growth. Last year we concentrated on the languages spoken English, German, French, because whatever we do, say in French as an example, and whatever we do as a campaign has effects on the French market, so France, but then they speak French in Belgium, in Canada, in parts of Switzerland. So we have really focused on those 3 language zones, English, German, and French in the beginning. We are now and this year using Spanish and Portuguese, in particular Brazilian Portuguese, as 4th and 5th language to really be part of our growth factor. And at the moment we are seeing an amazing growth in Brazil, as an example, which is very nice to see because the Brazilian market is a very specific market. It has it is huge. In comparison to Switzerland, everything is huge. So we really like growing in markets that make sense for us, and we do it step by step. However, because of the importance of the American market, I will spend more time here, and I think we have, with 7 million users today, a fantastic user base, and with viral growth we will use through those 7 million. However, there is no need why we shouldn't have 70 million users in the US. Yeah, so this is what we're up for.
Yeah, and the Mark in the chat room says that the mobile ability is going to make this a giant. So I think he agrees with you there. When you mention the languages, you mentioned French and then French Canadian. As you are aware of, French in France and French in Canada can be quite different with dialects and what have you. Do you take that into account, or is it really not important?
Or are you guys so, I don't want to say simple, but so you really don't have to worry about language that much, that you could get by with French in Canada?
Well, firstly, I think it is important to reflect that countries have specific language needs. I give you an example which is probably a bit further away for us all. It's Portuguese and Brazilian, because we've just been talking about the Brazilian market. Initially, we just launched in a pretty global Portuguese solution, and we got lots of feedback from Brazilians saying, "Well, guys, this is Europe. This is not Brazil. What are you guys doing?" And we will launch after our next sprint a true Brazilian solution. For digital companies, it's quite important to respect that factor, not only because our users like to see it in their appropriate language, but the search engines love to pick you up when you do a proper language and when you put up a proper language. So to answer your question, yes, we respect those differences, and it makes a lot of sense to actually have a proper language version out. We have 20 languages live at Doodle today, and that number will grow, but we will do it step by step. Very important.
Jack just appeared in the chat room, and his entry was "Greeting Doodleistas."
Affectionate.
Yes, what a wonderful thing. I got to tell you. Well, listen, again, we're almost at the end of time here, Michael. Again, but we are both looking forward to Doodle's additional participation in the U.S. and the support and the new apps coming out in April. Of course, you can go to just keep on top of that. I highly recommend that you go over to the Doodle website and check out the multi-day events. It's there now. It's up and running as of today. It's a brand new feature. You can see it on the Doodle homepage. Check it out there. And Michael, just before we say goodnight, anything else you want to let our listeners know before we say goodnight?
Well, firstly, it's been a pleasure, like always, talking to you guys. I always take something away from our talks. I think it's really good. And again, as I said, we listen to users. I listen to you guys, and you're bringing up so many good ideas. I think that's fantastic, and this is how we should grow, and this is how we will grow. What we could do, this is some idea that came through talking to you over that hour, is we could probably do something about the app once we have it live. Probably we can have another chat in April or so.
Sure.
And I'm happy to guide you through it and lead you through it, and probably talk a little bit about the specifics of the app, because we have just spent so much time on it today, and I think it will be a real growth factor for us. Happy to continue our talk in April on that topic if you like.
Absolutely. Wish we will.
I hope the one thing you take away from this is not that all Floridians want to rob banks. That is, we were kidding, we assure you.
I take your point, Ben. I take your point.
Yes, exactly. All right, Michael, listen, thank you so much for being with us here tonight on Computer America. Again, Michael Brecht, CEO of Doodle. Check him out at doodle.com. You go to our show notes page at computeramerica.com. You see today's show, which is the 25th of February, and you'll see today's the announcement about Doodle and Michael appearing on it, and we have a link right there to the Doodle website, and that will just stay up for all time, and you can check it out there as well. Michael, thanks so much for being with us here tonight on Computer America.
Thanks to you, Greg. Thanks to you, Ben, and good night, Florida.
And stay warm. Yes, exactly.
Good night.
All right. Okay, good night. All right, there you go. Doodle.com. Check it out. Again, go to our website at computeramerica.com. Click the show notes button, and you can see that for yourself. Doodle. And we'll have them back in April talking about the new apps that's coming out. Can't wait to see that. Download that on my iPhone, because I certainly find it really, really useful. Hey, coming up shortly is Dick DiBartolo, the GizWiz, Mad Magazine's maddest writer. He was at New York City. He lives in New York City, and he was out at the toy show and the tech show out there, and he's going to be with us talking about all the new things that he saw out at the convention. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, the Boost Radio Network, the IRN Radio Network. We're going to be right back in a moment. Stay with us.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your host, Ben.
Yeah, and really, oh no, okay, no. All right, Dick evidently has gone to the wrong link again. I'm not sure why this happens with him every single time, but every time I send him a link, he gets it, and then for some reason he says he's the only one in there. So what I will do is I will resend the link again, and just to make sure.
So strange.
I don't know what that is.
People are mentioning that maybe he found some sort of invisibility cloak camouflage at the toy convention. So, could be that.
It could be here. I'm going to send it to him again, and I'm sending it to him right now. There it goes. Okay. Okay, sent it again. Wait, you just heard it go. Okay. But that is the link. I don't know what this is. It happens every single time.
Are you sending him the proper link, or?
Yeah, and I just copied the link again.
You know what it might be?
What it might be? I hope
some sort of autocomplete.
Yeah, maybe instead of clicking on the link, maybe he should just copy and paste it. Let's see, copy and paste it.
See, now I'm thinking it's some sort of autocomplete kind of gibberish where, if you type in the first few letters, you're obviously just going to autocomplete to the wrong one. But either way, though, before Mr. Dick DiBartolo makes his grand appearance here, if you want to see what we're talking about, it links to all the stories so you don't have to write them down or try to remember their names or what have you. GizWiz.biz, and there's a Computer America section.
Right. In other words, when you go there, actually you go to our show notes page and you can click on it. But if you go there, there he is now. When you go there, then you just click on the Computer America banner that he has on his website, where it says
how about that I'm in the room?
Yeah, non-paid lackey fun on Computer America. and
Do you not see me?
I see you.
We see you.
You need to silence the chat room page because that's what's going on. Then we're getting a delay. Okay. All right. There you go.
All right. So basically, you send me a link. It says, don't click on this link, cut and paste it.
Yeah.
I cut and paste it. I immediately go to a thing that says, you're the first one here. So it's nothing I'm doing wrong. It's whatever you're sending me, I cut and paste.
Well, there it is. What can we say?
Anyway, so this time, it's the right link.
The mysteries of high technology. What can I say?
Exactly.
Couldn't have been any worse than the toy fair that you visited, but I tell you.
Oh, toy fair! Now that's a fun show.
Now again, what we want you to do is we want you to go to the website and you can see everything. Go to GizWiz.biz and then you'll see the non-paid lackey fun on Computer America. And you click on that and you'll see all the stories that we're going to be doing tonight. Not only that, you can see the stories, you can see pictures of them. You got the URLs, so you can see the links, and you can check them out for yourself. But of course, Dick DiBartolo's here, Mad Magazine's maddest writer, and Dick appears here on the last Wednesday of every month. So welcome into the show, Dick. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm good. You?
We're doing really, really well.
Lovely.
I heard your last caller was in New York City, so he told you how crappy it is.
Yeah, I know.
He said
are
it
you
was a
both
bit-
in Florida? I always forget. Are you both in Florida?
Yeah, we're both in Florida right
Yeah,
now.
currently we're both in Florida. He said that New York was a bit nippy, so.
Well, today it went over freezing, but for the rest of the week it will be under freezing. Last week it was two actual degrees. And -7 wind chill. Yeah.
Dick, it dipped down to 80 here today, so.
Oh, I'm heartbroken. What city are you in?
We're in Lake Clark Shores. That's West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Okay.
Exactly.
Just like New York right now kind of reminds me of that joke from Ron White. He went to take the dogs out at night, and he looked at the thermometer, and it said 0. And it said, what temperature is it out there? There isn't one. It's 0.
That's accurate. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know if you follow me on any of the social media, but I've been posting pictures of what the Hudson River looks like with the ice flows coming down, and people are quite shocked that the Hudson can have so much ice on it. But all the way upriver, it freezes. One of the captains told me it was more than 10 inches thick. And so they had to send a Coast Guard cutter up to keep
icebreaker.
Yeah, exactly. And then that ice comes flying down at 8 knots on an outgoing tide.
Now we're talking about a different icebreaker than when you go into a club.
Yeah, no, they don't send up a Coast Guard boat with champagne.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe they do, but they also break ice while they're on their way.
Exactly. Listen, I keep telling you, my wife keeps seeing you on TV all the time. She says, "Oh, there's Dick again." So.
Good. Very good.
Exactly.
Evidently, she's a late night person.
Yeah, yes, we are all late night people.
Oh,
here.
good, great.
Of this show, we are all night people. That's what we do.
Perfect.
Exactly. So anyway, I encourage you to go over to GizWiz.biz, click on the non-paid Lackey Fund Computer America, and you can see everything that we're going to be talking about tonight with Dick DiBartolo. And we're going to start off from Toy Fair in New York City, something new from Wowie.
Wowie makes really fun stuff. Last Toy Fair, they had something called the MIP, which is a little $99 robot who comes with a little snap-on tray, and he can actually balance things. You can put like a full can of Coke on his tray, and he can spin around, and you can use the remote control and drive him so he delivers the Coke to somebody in the room. So this year they decided that they would use the same technology, and they came up with something called the Miposaur, which is kind of a dinosaur version of the MIP. And they can interact with one another. They can chase each other, play games with each other, play games with you. And it's kind of clever because the remote control can be set to be food. So you set the remote control for food, and then you throw it on the floor, and then your Miposaur will go running after it. Or you can set it for play games, and it'll play games either by himself or with you or with one of the other MIPs. And it's really great. It's Bluetooth enabled app, so you get the robot and then you download the app. And he's coming not till fall, and he's a little more expensive than MIP. He's the list price is going to be $119 because he does more, and he has a big long tail that he can hit you with if you make him angry. If you put the food down and then take it away, he'll try and whack you with his tail.
Now,
how does he move? Is he on like wheels?
He's on wheels. He's on wheels. You can see the picture there on my website. But he's rolling on wheels. And
now, what is this? What is this gesture sense technology?
Oh, you know what? He also can see your hand. So I'm picking up from last year's MIP, was that he could remember a series of things to do. For example, you would go, you would wave your hand forward, 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 and then you would point left, and then point right. I mean, the signal could be slightly different than this. And then you clap or whatever you do, and he executes that. So what we did last year is we said, can you send the MIP down to where the cameraman is? So the guy who was demonstrating it put his hands in front of the MIP and went wave, 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 and then turn right, and then go forward. And when he clapped his hand, or however you set the MIP into motion, he did it, and he ran across the table and made a left and ran down and stopped right in front of our ABC cameraman. Yeah. So they've obviously put that same technology into this guy. It's pretty amazing. It's amazing stuff. You know, $119 may sound like a lot, but when you think about the technology, it's really amazing.
Now, it says he has this trackball that's equipped with beacon sense technology. I mean, beacon sense.
We know where you're. Someone's hungry.
Yeah, beacon sense technology.
Well, the beacon sense technology is where you will on the remote control dial what the remote control is. Like Bacon was almost right, because if you dial the food icon, he then will react to it as it's food. Go try to grab it from you if you're holding it, or he'll run after it if you roll it on the floor, because now he thinks it's something to eat.
How cute is that?
It's a lot of stuff for $120.
Really, technology.
Seems to be along the same strain as the Robo Sapien, the robot. So.
I have a Robo Sapien here. There.
Everyone has Robo Sapiens.
Yes.
I did not know how popular they were.
They were big. They were big in size, and I think they were, what were they, $250 or? But they did a lot, or do a lot. I mean, I haven't used mine in a while, but he sits there. Actually, he's in the bathroom to scare people when they go in there.
Okay, now I have a question for our listeners and maybe the chat room. Can anybody tell me what toy has remained basically the same for the past 55 years? What toy has remained basically the same for 55 years? Anybody? Anybody?
And stayed popular. They have sold over 200 million of these.
No way.
We'll give another hint. It's in a red frame. That help anybody? A red frame.
A red frame. Okay.
Oh wait, I know it. Candy Crush.
No.
55 years? Oh, hang on.
I don't think so.
No.
Well, the answer. Wait a minute. I think no. Well, the answer is Etch-a-Sketch. The Etch-a-Sketch. Yeah.
Etch-a-Sketch. Two knobs, a vertical and horizontal drawing knob. And you draw with them on a magnetic screen, and it was it was funny. If you go to my website, there's a video that'll go up tomorrow. It's kind of interesting, and then there's one thing in it where like it stopped my breath. At the show, they had an Etch-a-Sketch artist who actually, who would ever dream there would be a market for this guy? Makes his living doing Etch-a-Sketch portraits, like at weddings. It's the most bizarre thing. He does portraits of people, of your pets, but he also does scenes of New York. And
but the tragic thing about that is he does all these one, and then it's gone because he just turns.
Well, that is what happened.
Yeah.
It is. He had all these things laying on the table, and I said, "My gosh, these are amazing. Why are they just out here?" He said, "Well, what I do is when I'm done with a drawing, I drill holes in the back, and I drain the sand out, and then I cover the hole, and then the painting is there forever."
And what about the knobs? The knobs, they don't work anymore? Is that
You know what? I guess they don't work because there's no. I guess I don't know. Anyway, he said like this one. He said you could shake that, and I shook it, and the painting, half of it went away, and he went, "Oh my God! I guess all the sand wasn't out of it." I felt so. I felt so bad.
Yeah,
I said I am sorry. He said, "Well, it wasn't your fault." I said, "How long did it take you to do that one?" He said, "Well, that one was just 10 to 12 hours." He said, "These other ones were 2 or 3 days." I said, "I would just take them off the table until you're sure all the sand is gone."
Now I'm looking at the picture there. That's actually a pocket Etch-a-Sketch. They actually made a pocket version.
Yes, the technology is the same, but there have been 4 or 5. They've gone to a tiny little one that's about $6. The standard one now is up to about $30. But basically, it's the same. A French guy invented it 55 years ago, and
is he still getting royalties? Tell me he's. Still
I don't know. I think he's probably buried in a giant Etch-a-Sketch if he's.
I heard a tragic story. The guy who invented, you remember Operation?
Yeah.
They were talking to him. He gave up the rights to that. He sold it to whoever makes it, and for like about $500 or something. And he thought he was getting it. And of course, that game has made untold millions, and he gets like nothing. For it. I saw him on the news, and I think they gave him an honorarium or something. But basically, it's amazing that people come with these ideas and they sell it. And then they go crazy like that, and the originator, the inventor, sees nothing, which I think is just terrible.
Yeah, no, it can happen.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't know it was invented in France. There it is. So they actually showed the Etch-a-Sketch at the Toy Fair.
They did. They had a little celebration for the 55th year of Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you're in for a whole new kind of bubble blowing experience, Dick's got something really here for you. I mean, for me, bubble blowing, you take the little liquid and you have the little loop that goes into it that's attached to the cap of the jar. You pull it out, and you blow the little bubbles. And I've seen variations of it.
Did you explain to people how to blow bubbles?
Yeah, exactly. But this is a whole new kind of bubble blowing.
It's great fun. The company's called Amazing Toys, and I probably wouldn't have even thought about the bubble thing. But in the middle of their booth, they had a bed of nails and with 3,000 hydraulic nails. And I said to the guy, "Are you letting people try absolutely, have to hop on it." So you lay on it and it's flat, and he says, "Just be still. Are you ready?" And you say yes, and suddenly you go up in the air, but it really is painless. And he said, "Just so you know you're on the nails, reach over to the side and put your fingers here, and you'll feel that you are actually up in the air on the nails." And then obviously, he's very funny. After he brings it down, and he says, "Don't drink water for the next 20 hours." So anyway, I said, "So why is the bed of nails here?" And he said, "Well, we call it Amazing Toys, and we just use this here because this is like an amazing gadget. But we have other things." And I said, "Well, tell me the latest amazing thing you had." And he said, "Well, we've invented bubbles that you can fill with fog." So I went over to the table where they were demonstrating this kit called Epic Bubbles, and it comes with a jar that you fill with dry ice and then pour hot water in to make fog. And then you screw the cap on, and the cap has this long cord of clear tube, and I forgot how the air was coming out of this device, but you put it on a table and it starts blowing a bubble, and the bubble is filled with fog. But the most fun is when you break the bubble. It's like this fog haze comes up from the table, and it's a lot of fun. And also, he showed me that if you wear gloves, and I said, any kind of gloves? He said, any kind of gloves, you can play with bubbles for a very, very long time. It is the oil on your hand that makes the. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Oh, okay. Because it sounds like you got a degree in bubble mania or something. you know so much about it.
Yeah.
And he showed me with a pair of gloves, you can bounce the bubble back and forth between your hands. But the Epic Bubble kit is fun, and then there's a little device that lets you make a round bubble, and you drop it into this little triangular thing, and when it falls in, it just turns into a square bubble. So it's a lot of fun. And the kit, I think the kit is shipping now, and it's under $25.
It wasn't a comedian. There was a guy that I think I saw him first on the Tonight Show and said one of the late night shows. Who he was a sculptor, but he worked with bubbles. I don't know if you ever saw him. And
I think I did.
Yeah. And then the big challenge, people said, can you make a square bubble? And so he worked on it and came on television and actually blew a square bubble. The way he did it was he would create like 4 or 5 or 6 bubbles, and in the center of it, the pressure of them, the center, the bubble was square. And people.
Wow.
That was really great. And he would put smoke in it, and he would do all these different tricks, like people with toy balloons, they would make animals. He would do this with bubbles, and he did it on one of the late night shows. It was very popular for a while.
I think like America Got Talent and like shows like that had a couple bubble people on there.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. All right.
Amazing.
Okay. So and again, you can see all of this at the website GizWiz.biz, and you click on the Unpaid Lackey Fun on Computer America banner, and you can follow along and see all these stories with us here on the show. Let's continue on now. I love ThinkGeek. I think it's one of the best websites there are.
Me too.
Incredible gadgets that they have. They have some most innovative things that I have seen. I love their April Fool's Day, though. They come, and it turns out that some of the things on the April Fool's Day were so.
Yeah, I think we did one a couple months ago. It was the.
They made it into an actual product.
Yeah. The car from the Back to the Future. What was the car?
The DeLorean.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I know about the
something
flux
capacitor.
The flux capacitor.
Flux capacitor.
Yeah, flux capacitor.
Mm-hmm.
It was an April Fool's joke, and they got so many people who tried to order it, they decided
let's make it. Yeah,
let's just make it.
Yeah.
Well, the two things they had at Toy Fair are real things. One of them is already in the marketplace. The other one is coming out, I think, in the summer, called Go Bricks. And Go Bricks is a very clever idea. So what it is it's a way to add motion to models you build with other building kits. And he said that it matched the motors and the wheels they give you match up with the building blocks of major kits like Lego. And I think they can't say those things at the show. I said, you nod yes. I said, will this work with a Lego? And he nodded yes. So if you build a little Lego car, you can now attach the wheels that they make to your car, and then you get 2 motors, you get the wheels, you get 2 remote controls, and you even get a little robot who can be snapped on to appear as the driver. So it's a way to add motion to many of the popular building bricks that are on the market now, and very reasonable. It's going to be $29.95.
Wow.
Coming in the summer. Go Bricks.
Okay.
And the other thing I love a lot, it's a very clever game. It's called Hovercraft.
This is so cool.
Hovercraft, I think they called it reverse magnetism. Anyway, it's a little platform that floats in air.
I love things that levitate. That's what.
Yes, this has a little wire on it so it doesn't float away in one corner or two corners. But the object here is you roll a die, and if the die says 3, when it's your turn, you have to put 3 pieces on this floating platform without making the platform collapse. So you have to put them on evenly so that it stays in air. And then the next person rolls the die, and you keep going until someone puts a piece on that's too many pieces or in the wrong corner, and then the hovercraft board falls over. But it's a lot of fun. I just played it a couple times there.
It reminds me of a modern version of Jenga or something, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And that is out now. It's I think it's like $29.99.
Very clever.
And it's a Think Inc. original, so it's only at Think Geek.
Yeah, again, I went to the website and looked at it. Very, very cool. And it does have, although it's levitating, it's floating, it does have 2 little support wires at the back, which really don't interfere. It just prevents it from because
flying away or moving out of alignment.
Yeah, there's a law, and it's not law. There's a law that says that you can't have a balanced levitation using natural magnets. You need to have electromagnets to do it. I actually have something electromagnet that I also got from Thinking that truly does flow without any, but it's very stable. But this is very cool because it's sort of levitating there, and then you have to kind of balance it without it all falling over. And I think it's very, very clever. I think it's very attractive, and because there's no electronics involved with it, you can sell it inexpensively too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's clever.
Okay. Again, you can see everything at GizWiz.biz, and click on the non-paid Lackey Fund at Computer America, and you can see everything that we're talking about here with Dick DeBartolo. The GizWiz, Bad Magazine's maddest writer. And, okay, artificial intelligence. I mean, it's a wonderful, I think it's a very cool thing, although what is it, 3 or 4 of our countries, are the world's leading thinkers, are convinced that artificial intelligence will eventually be the doom of humankind. Literally.
Really?
Oh yeah. Was it? What's the name? Stephen Hawking.
He's been making so many dire predictions lately. He is a downer.
Yeah, but the guy who invented the Tesla car. What's his name?
Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk has said. He says artificial. If we're not careful, we truly could have a Terminator. You know, you could have Skynet, and because when these things become self-aware and we have no controls over them, they could really wipe us out. So artificial intelligence could be a bad thing if we're not careful. But anyway,
as long as it doesn't happen by Friday, because I have to go to dinner.
That's right. The next generation of toy cars are coming out that are going to be
the people at the show. I'm not a gamer, but I talked about this on the show with my co-host Chad Johnson, and Chad Johnson has one of these sets and was so thrilled to know about this. The original is Anki Smart Cars, or Anki Drive is the original, and so the one that's coming out in September is called Anki Overdrive. So these they look like slot cars, but they run on a track that doesn't have a slot in it, because the cars have an optical sensor, so they know to stay on the track.
That's very
cool. Come with an app, and I mean it's really quite ingenious. They come with an app, and in the app are all these different characters, like out of some spooky tale, and each character has different personalities, and you pick the personality you want, and using Bluetooth you send that personality to the car you've selected, and the car blinks and lights up to tell you that that car now has that personality. If you're alone, you pick a car, and the other 3 cars, using artificial intelligence, will, as you drive, analyze how you're driving and will find a way to screw you up. Yeah, I know. So this is the first step toward what you're talking about, is artificial intelligence getting to be very, very smart. And what they've done with this overdrive system is, instead of having just a round track, the new system has snapped together magnetic track that can be built in 8 different formations out of the box, but you can add endless amounts of track. At Toy Fair they had like this, probably 10 by 40 foot racetrack.
It looks very futuristic.
It does. The cars are really sleek.
Yeah.
It's $150 for a kit. You get 2 cars. You get a charger for 4 cars. You get, I think it was 10 pieces of track. The app is free.
I encourage people go and look at the link and watch the video of these cars.
Yes.
And the city, it's like a little city that they're driving around, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me a little bit of a beehive, you know, of the
yes.
But these beautifully shaped buildings, and the track is kind of weaving its way through them, and you're watching these cars, again, slotless, no slots, on a wide belt or a road, you know, and they're all interacting with each other, and the artificial intelligence that Dick is talking about guides them. I mean, so it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. And the fact that you don't need to have anybody to play against, the cars are more than happy to take you on. I said to the guy, that's just what you need, a kit you bring home, and as soon as you turn it on, it plots against you.
Oh, gosh. All right, yeah, but again, I encourage you to take a look at the video and see.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Pretty neat.
Now we got more stories. We're coming to the bottom of the hour, but we got a lot more stories coming up here. Is that you know? Remember, if you watch the comic strips and you would read a comic strip, and the artist wanted to symbolize somebody getting a brilliant idea, and what would they do? Well, they would show like a little light bulb. They would draw a little light bulb balancing over his head. He's got a brilliant idea. When we come back, we're going to tell you how you can do that in real life. That's one of the things, and it's called the headlight. And we'll be talking about that. And some of the other things coming up, remote control machines and animals. Really, really cool tech. And also, for those who like to do selfies, we've got a Bluetooth remote control selfie stick. These are some of the things we're going to be talking with Dick DeBartolo, the GizWiz. We've got a News Tips Bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up. Stay tuned. Lots more coming up. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV.
And we're off. Hi, it's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Lutron Caseta Smart Bridge. Not sure how you pronounce it. It's C-A-S-E-T-A. Lutron is best known for making outlets and switches and other necessities for electrical work. They also make some of these with electronics. They can talk to the Caseta control system, which can also work with a Honeywell Wi-Fi thermostat, a Nest thermostat, and a few motorized window shades or rollers. They send a Caseta Smart Bridge, plugging it into a wall wart and a gigabit port, then fetching its app, had it running quickly. Like many home control systems, this one uses quote-unquote scenes, each denoting some combination of settings for connected stuff. You choose whether they trigger manually or on a schedule. The hub uses 430 to 440 megahertz radio with a 30-foot range, which means roughly 2,800 square feet, and it limits control to no more than 50 sensors or effectors. Bottom line, with good planning, a Lutron Caseta Smart Bridge can be programmed for secure, intelligent, automatic control of lights, shades, and more with a smartphone that need not ever run its app again, but may for changes or direct manual control. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. 33 minutes past the hour. That was a News Tip Bulletin Review from Marty Winston. And yeah, we're here with Dick DiBartolo. And we're going over, a lot of these gadgets. A few of them were at the Toy Fair. Are we done with the Toy Fair? Or?
This last one is the last one from Toy Fair.
Now, and before I just want to comment. I just noticed something. When you're on our live video, I think everything's kind of reversed. But this time, evidently, you've clicked on it because your clock now shows the real time. I see the real.
Yeah, I didn't do anything special.
That's right. And I had.
Yeah, it's so weird. When on my clock it says it's 11:11, and on your clock it says 11:11. So weird that it flipped like that.
Now, were you the one who introduced the non-reflective glasses that Ben?
Yes.
Okay. Now, are you wearing them now?
I am not.
Okay, because I was going to say.
Right.
Okay.
I am not.
Oh.
I forgot. Wait a second. Yeah. They're not in the normal place they should be.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
but no, it can be any pair of glasses that you. Mine came from Lennon Crafters.
Right. Exactly.
And when I was putting the order in, the woman said, "Do you want these to be non-reflective coating?" And I said, "What's that?" And she said, "Oh, it's great." And it was $40, and it is great.
Yeah, it does. Because when you're wearing them, we can get to see the natural color of your eyes. So, yeah.
They're rainbow.
It is. All right, so I kind of teased it. When you have a bright idea now from this, you can actually show that you have a bright idea with this.
I know. I loved this, and then I found it on Amazon and got to read a little more about it and was a little disappointed. It's a bowler hat, and there's a light bulb on top that lights up. I was hoping it was a little switch that you could, even if it was wired, you could run it down into your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Stupidly, the switch is inside the hat.
Oh, no.
So it's even worse than having it on the brim. Mm-hmm. So you have to
take the hat off.
Walk around with the light lit. So they get a lot of brownie points off of that. But it's very funny looking. And the bulb, it looks like a regular screw-in bulb, but it's an LED bulb inside what looks like a screw-in bulb, so that the battery power will last. And
well,
it's not bad for a joke. It's $15.50.
Maybe they'll hear you, Dick, and the next version too will have a switch that you.
That would be good. I think that would be.
A Bluetooth or a remote that you can carry in your pocket, so then you hit it and then it'll go on and go on. So then it'll just remotely turn the bulb on and off.
Exactly.
Yeah. I could see that. Okay, so we're continuing on again. If you want to follow along, GizWiz.biz is the website click on the non-paid Lackey Fun on Computer America banner, and you can kind of follow along with us. Now, we're on the second page at this point.
Oh, right. There are a couple more toy fair things. I forgot.
Yes. And there are 2 kits from Thames and Cosmos.
Thames and Cosmos, they make great kids for toys, learning kits.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them's coming out in June is called Remote Control Machines Animals. And you can build, it's either 8 or 10 animals, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
You build them one at a time, and then they're motorized. But when you build it according to the gears, that as you follow the instruction book, when you build the penguin walks like a waddle. If you build the gorilla, or I guess it's a monkey, you mount the string between 2 points, and he does hand over hand over hand, and climbs up the string. So each of the 6 of the 8 or 10 animals will walk in the way that the real animal would walk. So it's a learning kit, and that's $50, under $50 when it comes out.
You can mix them up too, right? You can
yes.
Outrageous hybrid animals.
Yes, you can, exactly. After you build the 8 or 10, whatever it is, you can just make up a model of your own. And then the second kit they're coming out with is Remote Control Machines Space Explorers. And there you can build any of 10 different, the robot rover, or you can just be crazy and make your own machine that will run around. And that is a very elaborate. I think it has 3 motors, so the machine can run forward, backward, sideways, and also have an operating crane aboard. So that kit's $100, under $100, and that's both of them coming in June.
Yeah, you can have a moon lander, a wacky astronaut, satellite, Mars station, crosswing flyer, a lot of different things.
Yeah, neat stuff.
Very, very neat stuff. Okay. All right, so now for all of you out there who are selfie manias, love taking selfies, everywhere you go, you take a selfie with friends, everything. Well, they hear you out there. There's evidently a selfie stick plus a remote control Bluetooth shutter button for under $9?
Under $9. I thank Twit for this. It was Padre who does the show out there, and I have been watching the show, and he was showing this, and I didn't even want one. But when he said he paid, I think $6.50 for his, but when he said it includes a Bluetooth remote control shutter, I mean that alone is worth $10 or $15
easily.
Yes, exactly. So it has the exciting name of the UFCIT, extendable selfie hand stick monopod with adjustable phone holder and Bluetooth wireless remote shutter.
That's catchy, isn't it?
I know, and it goes on from there for iPhone, Samsung, and other systems, iOS 6 and Android 4. Anyway, and the other thing is, so I'm looking on Amazon for it, and a lot of these things ship directly from China. And I did find it for $6.80, and I clicked buy, and it says it'll arrive late March, early April. And I thought, oh my gosh, they're sending it really far away. So I kept shopping around, and for $8.50, I found it Amazon Prime.
Wow.
So I got this with the Bluetooth control. It's the same as in the picture. In 2 days for $8.50. I hooked it up. It works fine. It's not the best built thing ever.
Well, for $8?
I know.
Yeah.
And I wanted it in red. The picture shows red. The description says pink. But I figured for $8.50, I just want to see what it looks like. And I got it, and it is red, so I don't know why the description says pink. But if you need a selfie handle and a remote control Bluetooth controller, you can't go wrong for $8.50.
I mean, how sturdy does it have to be? It's just holding.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, you're not going to be doing weddings with this. It's just going to be run out and.
So it's probably sturdy enough for what it's designed for.
Yeah. Earlier you were talking about the guy who invented something and lost the patents to it.
Yes, operation.
I don't know if you remember, but this design goes back. God, I was on Regis showing it. The guy had just invented it. It was called QuickPod, and QuickPod was the first kind of selfie stick. The only difference was his terminated in a screw for a tripod. So your camera, but back then almost all cameras had a tripod screw in the bottom. And the object was for, not so they didn't even know the name selfie, but it was for people who were traveling alone and wanted their own picture in front of a famous landmark.
Sure.
So you could do this, and then the second year he came out with one that had a tiny little mirror on it, so that you could kind of focus yourself to make sure you were centered in front of what you wanted to shoot. But I was just thinking, now the selfie stick, there must be 90 people making them, and I bet he doesn't hold a patent or anything on that technology of stretching a camera out on a pole. Yeah. But this is certainly the most inexpensive version I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, the electronics design and that sell it for under $9 is truly amazing. But again, it'll do exactly what it says it does.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to leave the toy fair, I think, now, and
we're going to another show.
Yeah.
The International Housewares Show preview. And this is very timely because I believe that show starts in Chicago this coming weekend. And you know about induction cooking, right? You probably have it.
We had GE on the show talking about their magnetic induction cooktops.
Yes.
When it was not very popular, and it still really hasn't caught here on.
No, it is.
Why they're waiting? Because it is such a wonderful cooking. I mean, it's like the microwave. I mean, it's a technology that's here. You can cook, and yet when you put your hand on the surface, it stays mostly cool. It does not cook with heat on the surface. But the technology used is called magnetic induction. But you always had to spend thousands to get these large cooktops, from GE that would make them. And now they're starting to appear
as standalone units. And a company that started this a couple of years ago is Fagor America, Fagor America. Mm-hmm. And 2 years ago they came out with the first under $100 portable induction cooktop.
Wow.
And now at the Houseware show, they're showing a new version of it, which is now totally digital. Mm-hmm. So you can dial the exact temperature you want. Actually, I think the lower price model does it in 5 or 10 degrees. So you'll set it for 180 degrees, 190. But you need a magnetic pot, so you need to have. So now they're shipping it still for under $100 with a skillet that works with it.
Yeah,
and it's very smart. If you take the skillet off, the burner will beep a few times to tell you that there is no induction cookware on top.
Yep.
And if in 30 seconds you don't put cookware down, it shuts it off.
Yeah, they see the expensive one that we have from GE does that, but that thing costs like over $2,000 to do that, and yeah, exactly. And now the under $100, they're finally borrowing or taking the technology of these more expensive tops and bringing it to these little tabletop versions that do it. Now you're right. The way you can tell whether your cookware is going to be induction ready is just take a magnet and see if it sticks to it, the bottom of the pan. If it's magnetic, you're all set. If it isn't, then it's not going to work. It's just that simple.
Exactly. And this new one is 1,800 watts, so it has to be on a 15 amp circuit all its own while you're using it. And it has a built-in timer program. It has a kid's lockout on it. And it's very handsome looking, and it's very easy to clean because it's a totally flat surface. And I shot a little video the way I did years ago on Regis. You put a $20 bill on top of the stove. You put the induction-ready pan on top of it. You boil water in the pan. You lift the pan up. The $20 bill is not scorched. It's cool enough that you can slide it off. It's amazing.
You know, and I saw another demonstration. One of these companies, they actually designed a fry pan that had a pie wedge cut out of it. So it was a pan, but it had like a pie wedge in it. So they put the pan and they would put an egg in it, and it would start doing that. And in the wedge, which you could touch the surface, they would put an ice cube. So you watch it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you watch the egg frying, and the ice cube is sitting there on the same surface, and it's just nothing's happening to it because it's not hot.
Very, very clever.
Very clever.
Bigger America Cooktop and Cooktop Pro. The Pro is similar sized unit, but it has a few more features and lists for $150.
$150, and that does not come with the skillet.
That does not come with the skillet.
Okay, but you're getting
more gadgets.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if you're thinking about induction or you're not familiar with it, I strongly suggest that you go take a look at it, because I mean, why wait around for the thing to heat up? And this is like instantaneous heat, instantaneous off, and that's what you get with induction cooking. It's just amazing. It changes the way you cook. It really does. So it's like I remember when the microwave oven came out, and what an amazing thing that was. This is
absolutely yes.
Exactly.
But you're right. I don't know why it's taking forever for this to catch on.
It's big in Europe, but it's slowly getting here. It just takes a long time. Okay, so obviously in the wake of the upcoming Star Wars movies,
yes,
right? You've got something here.
Yeah, the new movie is called Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And I call this Star Wars the Salesforce Awakes, because this company is coming out with 100 Star Wars gadgets. There is everything. There is the R2-D2 timer, kitchen timer, where you twist his head and his head turns as the timer counts down. They have the Darth Vader lightsaber barbecue tongs. Just every single thing, and they all have, not all of them, but they have built-in sound effects. And it's just a riot. And they're all licensed. They license Star Wars and Doctor Who. So it's called undergroundtoys.com, and if you want to look at their stuff, it's underground-toys.com. And it's kind of interesting how people sort of hijack websites. Or I guess if you just type Underground Toys, it goes to a totally different website selling toys, but it's not them. So their website is Underground-Toys.
Huh.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Now I've got my lightsaber on my smartphone.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay. Wow. And they say you're not a techie.
Don't worry, we're embarrassed for him. We have to take him out into public.
That's right.
Exactly. Okay. Well, let's face it. I mean, marketing is everything. I mean,
absolutely.
And why not when they can do that? Okay. Now we're going to go this. Now, I have to say the name of this company conjures up so many fond memories. Hamilton Beach. When I think of Hamilton Beach, I think of those old-fashioned chrome malt, the stirrers that would make malts and everything, and you would put it underneath and they go zzz, and you can make milkshakes.
Yes.
Yeah, Hamilton Beach was renowned for that. It would, and you would see them in drugstores, and this is all before Ben's time. I realize that. And
what's a malt?
Milkshakes.
Well, they are still around, and at this hardware at this Housewares preview, I thought this was very clever. They're coming out with the Hamilton Beach Go Sport blender, and basically it's a one-speed blender with a 20-ounce blender jar on it that you blend your smoothie in the bottle, and then you unscrew the bottle and use the same bottle to take with you. It comes with a drink-through cap that you screw on, and this way it's a double insulated, BPA free, so that instead of messing up a jar and then spilling that into your travel mug, what you blended it in is what you take with you to the gym or to the office. And it's shipping very soon, middle of March, and the suggested retail is under $30. I said to the woman, Is that the wholesale price? She said, no, that's the manufacturer's retail price.
And the bottle actually fits in most car cup holders too.
Yes, which is also another great feature of it. It's called the Sporty Blender, and I went to their website. It was not up there yet, but they have dozens of blenders.
Yeah.
So if you remember, or just go to my website. It's model 51135. That's the sure way to know you're getting the Sporty Blender with the dual use.
Yeah. It has a 600-watt motor, and they said it can easily handle ice and frozen fruit.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea at a very decent price.
Right. I love the idea that it's the same bottle. So in other words, you don't have to pour it into something else.
No, absolutely. That's
very, very clever. Very clever. And again, from Hamilton Beach. The company's been around for a long, long time. Okay.
I guess all you have to worry about is blades when you're drinking from it.
Say it again?
I guess all you have to worry about is the blades when you're drinking.
Yeah. Try not to drink it while you're blending.
No, that's
unless you want to drink and shave at the same time.
Get your tongue stuck in that. Yes, that would hurt. Yes, exactly. Okay, well, you know, we when we were gift shopping for Ben's birthday, we wanted to find him a water bottle, and we there were
hard to find for under $5.
Plethora of water bottles. You would not believe the kind of one, but you have found Dick DiBartolo, the GizWiz, has found a water bottle that has a unique feature that I have not seen in any other water bottle.
I have to credit my co-host, Chad Johnson, for finding this, and I thought it was so clever. I said, I'm going to share this with the people over at Computer America. It's called the Kangaroo Auto Seal Hydration Bottle with storage pouch. So on the side of the bottle, there is a little clip-open compartment that's big enough for a key, couple of folded up bills, maybe your driver's license, credit card. So it's a great thing for the beach or while you're jogging, anywhere where you're carrying a water bottle with you. Is a way to carry a couple of things that you don't want to carry your entire wallet for. It's 24 ounce. And I think it was 15. Let me just look again.
They call it the Kangaroo because I guess it's sort of like a pouch.
It has a pouch, exactly. Yeah, it was under $15 in gray yesterday. And it's Amazon Prime, so free shipping, BPA, free water bottle. And when it has something, Chad liked Auto Seal, is I believe when you suck on it to drink, the seal opens. When you stop drinking, the seal closes. Which is great.
Okay. And obviously it's rugged, it's dishwasher safe, so it looks very, very
all
nice.
of those things.
Very cool for under $15. There you go. And let's talk about this. This is kind of, it's like a cube. This is actually for the travelers out there, and because obviously everything that you take with you has to, the more functionality you can get out of one thing, the better it is. And evidently they got the one device that does a whole bunch of things.
A whole bunch. They originally had this smart travel plug and adapter, and now they still have that, but in the same space they have. It's from Satechi, S-A-T-E-C-H-I. The Satechi Smart Travel Router Travel Adapter. So it's a plug that can be used, I believe they said, in 150 countries. You slide it one way, it's U.S. You put it another way, it's Europe. You put it another way, it's other countries. But you can also plug a cable in it from the hotel. If they have a hardwired Wi-Fi cable, you can plug in there and then create your own hotspot in the room. And
nice.
Without the router configuration, it's $25, and with the router functions, it's $50. But it really does a lot for a little plug.
Yeah, I mean, it supports passwords containing letters and numbers. Special characters can't be used. It can function as a typical router. You can connect to the internet, broadcasting a wireless signal, make your own hotspot. Very, very nice.
Isn't that neat?
Little
Yeah.
tiny device, little tiny device. And then lastly, let's talk about this is a bike tail light that has a built-in video camera.
Yeah, and I wasn't quite sure if I liked this or not, but when I did it on GizWiz, bikers think this is a great idea. It's called the Fly 6. It's a regular blinking or steady tail light, but there is a built-in waterproof HD camera with a microphone, and it can record for as long as you like. You put an SD card in there. I think it comes with an 8 gigabyte SD card. You can put in a bigger card, but what happens is you set it for how much you want it to record before it starts recording over it. You could have it save the entire trip if you want. It records 20p at 30 frames. It has a 100-degree angle-wide view and a dimming mode, so you can actually, for dimming mode, you can set it for how bright you want it to be. And as I said, it can be flashing or steady. And plug it in USB when you come home at night, and it runs for 6 hours once you're out on the road. And it does ship with the 8 gigabyte SD card.
Wow. Okay. Well, Dick, always a pleasure having you here on the show. Tell us what's coming up. What's going on with
let's
you?
see. GizWiz goes on and on. The new issue of Mad just came out. It's our Star Wars issue. Came out this week. And in that, I have new security measures that are being applied to the president. And I'll just tell you, one of them is that they are taking the address of the White House off all stationery so that people will not know where the White House is and will leave Obama safer.
Oh, wow.
90 seconds.
Well, Dick, again, thanks so much for being with us here on tonight's show. Always a pleasure. We'll catch you next month. Please stay with us to our little after.
Okay, very good.
Exactly. So tomorrow night, what do we got? Oh, well, in the first hour, Intel is scheduled. They had to move from last week to this week, so Intel Sponsor Hour is going to be here with us for the first hour. That's always a lot of fun and very interesting. They always talk about what Intel is doing. That's new, novel, and different.
60 seconds.
And then in the second hour, we're going to have a company called Spritz. They actually use technology to teach you how to read faster. They've got something called stealth mode, and there are a lot of reading techniques out there, like skimming, what have you, but they have a whole different method using technology to teach you how to read a heck of a lot faster than you're reading. So that's going to be a very interesting company to have on the show. Looking forward to that. That wraps it up. Thank you all so much for being with us here. Again, thanks to Doodle in the first hour, Michael Breck, CEO of Doodle, and Ben and I will see you tomorrow night. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. Same ending.
10 seconds.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, everybody, thanks.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching us on our live Computer America video streaming page, and we'll see you tomorrow with Intel and Spritz. Thanks again, Dick, for being with us.
Okay,
here.
welcome. I'll see you at the end of March.
All right, we'll see you then. Take
Okay, bye, Ben. Bye, chat room.
Bye.
And send me the right link next time.
I will.